But we're starting obviously with Claire. Claire, are you familiar with either the French psychologist Bernard Pivot or the American actor turned television host James Lipton?
Is James Lipton black?
No, James Lipton is a Jewish man.
I'm afraid not.
Okay, James Lipton is the host of a prolific American chat show, I guess you would call it, called Inside the Actors Studio. It's a notorious show because they managed to get some of the most high-profile A-list celebrities in the world to go on there and answer a very simple set of 10 questions. These questions were devised by a French psychotherapist called Bernard Pivot in the 18-something or others, and he said that these questions give the most profound insight in the shortest space of time into somebody's mind. Claire, are you willing to subject yourself to these questions, answer them honestly, thoughtfully, and without being dismissive and facetious?
I'll give it a go.
All right, here we go. Claire, questions with Claire. And of course, at the end of this, I'll throw it open to anybody else listening if they have any questions for Claire they'd like to add in. But for the meantime, if you could all just remain muted and leave Claire like this, we really want to put the spotlight on Claire for a second here. Okay, Claire. Take as long as you like to answer these. No pressure, no hurry, no rush. And of course, at any time, feel free to tell me to fuck off. What is your favorite word?
Morality.
Why?
Because of its relevance to politics.
Okay. What is your least favorite word?
All the buzzwords that are going round, like lived experience. Yes, I hate that latest buzzword.
It's a good answer. What turns you on, brackets, creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Creatively, I suppose, anyone who makes me think a new idea, anyone, anything, any song, a poem, whatever, art, piece of art. Spiritually, I suppose it would mean reading something or thinking something or having my mind changed by someone to think of things in a more spiritual way. What's the third one?
Emotionally.
Courage and sincerity. Courage and wisdom.
What turns you off, creatively, spiritually?
Gosh, I think you've cut out.
Oh, sorry. What turns you off, creatively, spiritually, emotionally?
Banality. Insincerity. And cowardice.
Good answers. Okay, question 5 is a little bit deeper and a little bit more tricky, although it might seem like the most superficial and surface level of them all. Which is your favorite curse word?
Different ones kind of come and go. There might be, I guess the F word if I were to stub my toe.
Fuck.
Yes. Or
Claire,
shit.
what? Or shit. If you had to pick between one or the other.
I don't know. It depends on. I don't pick. It just comes out.
What sound?
Maybe in polite company, I might say shit. I don't know. But I don't see why one would be better than the other.
What sound or noise do you love?
The sound of running water is quite soothing.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Irregular noises like sudden explosions or somebody slamming the door, that kind of noise, I suppose.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Psychiatry.
What profession other than your own would you not like to attempt?
Nursing.
Interesting. And lastly, Claire, if heaven does exist, if you were lucky enough to go there, and if you were indeed lucky enough to meet God himself, what would you have him say to you upon arrival at the pearly gates?
Welcome in. We've been waiting for you.
Based. I'll now throw it open to the audience. If anybody else has any questions for Claire, they don't have to be so deep or philosophical. I only need my little 10-minute segment for the cube. But if
I responded with her what she said in emojis in chronological order. There you go.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. That's really great. Claire, if you'd like to see an expression of your innermost self in emoji form, you can check the chat. I guess we could turn to a quick fire round while you guys think up some interesting questions. Claire, we'll just go super off the top with this, right? Fast as you can. Don't overthink it. Don't need an explanation, but it'll be either or, right? Black or white?
Black.
Hot or cold?
Hot.
Poor or rich?
Rich.
Inside, outside?
Outside.
North or south?
North.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
The ancient Romans or the ancient Greeks?
The Romans.
Cocaine or marijuana?
Marijuana.
Based. Seriously, nobody else has any questions for Claire? You guys are ridiculous.
Claire,
I'm trying.
do you have any children?
Yes.
Claire, how long have you been a lawyer?
Well, I've never practiced. I just passed my bar vocational course. But I feel I have used it in politics and debate.
How have you used it in politics? Like, no one knows who you are.
Well, it's just all about winning arguments. Not that it helps, because even if you win arguments, people don't really care about the truth, because we live in a post-truth society.
You can't speak in a matter-of-fact term, though. You're
I don't
trained
understand.
as a lawyer. You can't speak in a matter-of-fact term because you're trained as a lawyer.
This is questions, John Vance, not just have a go.
Sorry.
Claire.
I don't even understand the point he was making.
Claire, I've got a question for you. Claire, I've got a question for you. Why do you use the term secular Quranism? Isn't that like an oxymoron?
No, because secularism, if you think of secularism as it applies to France or America or, countries that say they don't have an official religion, what they're doing is trusting their ruling classes to pass and repeal laws for them. So, you're basically trusting your government to pass and repeal laws. And basically, what I'm saying is...
What's wrong with that, then?
Because they're not doing it well, are they? Isn't that what everyone is
What do you mean not
about?
well? What do you mean they're not doing it?
Well, I think a lot of
I don't
people
think
are
everyone.
complaining
People
about
always
their
whinge,
government.
but like you'll
Why
never.
do you keep asking me, interrupting after asking me my question? Don't you want to hear the answer? Or is there something wrong with you?
There's nothing wrong with me. I just hear I hear you answer and I interject, don't I? When I realise what you said is wrong. But continue.
Well, what did I say
If you want to
was
go on some
wrong?
diatribe, fair enough.
I'm just answering a question, not
Well,
having a diatribe.
I just think it's like they're saying there's something wrong with the government. What is wrong with it exactly? Like the way it is right now. I'm just going to play devil's advocate. Like what's wrong with the government?
I just notice a lot of people complaining, and
What's
I
wrong
don't
with your
agree with
life
a lot of
currently?
things that it is doing. I don't agree with, well,
Yeah, but
it's stupid laws, it's gay marriage, it's transgenderism, the fact that it hasn't, only that our ruling classes only follow the orders of Washington, that it's not an independent country.
Yeah, but because can I ask a question? Why do we need to radically change society just over those minor issues?
I don't think they're minor issues.
Like gay marriage and transgenderism. They don't. I think they're minor. Like, how many transgender people do you know?
If you want your group to continue, you would have to produce legitimate children and properly parent them. And I've noticed in my, I've been around, I've noticed that people are just getting stupider and more cowardly and more corrupt. It's something I've noticed. So it's just going to get worse if we don't
How are they
fix it.
getting stupid though?
Well,
is it getting worse though? Like the reality is that. Yeah, but white people have decided that they want immigration. It's Darwinism. It's social Darwinism, isn't it? It's survival of the fittest. That's what built white civilization by, white civilization was based on individualism. It's based on individualism, survival of the fittest. And the white elites are chosen that they want the best people to come in. It's survival of the fittest.
Okay, and you're white, are you?
I'm white, yeah.
And how did you vote in the EU referendum?
How did I vote in the EU referendum? I voted Brexit to leave the European Union.
So it sounds like you don't agree with immigration.
Don't agree with immigration. I don't know really. I'm getting to the point now where it's like, at the end of the day, if you're a white person and you can't survive in this economy because you're a fucking loser, and you're replaced by some fucking immigrants, then so be it. I don't want it to be that way, but then in the same instance, it's like, stop the fucking whinging and get up off your arse, isn't it? Do something. This is what white civilization is about. It's about making something of yourself.
So you voted Brexit and they ignored you. You voted Brexit and they ignored you. Yes, that's what's happened.
Okay, let me chime in here. So obviously,
I'm
going to lead to a question. So the younger generation are now saying that it is pointless to work. There's a phrase that's called quiet quitting. Older generations are scolding younger generations for having this attitude. Have any of you at all mentioned inflation in the central bank and how, having a sound currency influences politics and social norms?
Right, yeah, that will affect it to a certain degree.
Can you repeat? Look, okay, there's somebody at my door, so by the time I come back, I will have forgotten the question, but I have to go and answer it. So be back in a minute.
Phil, are you in Lancashire, or is your accent Lancashire?
No, I'm not in Lancashire, I'm in Staffordshire.
Did you hear about those boys?
What boys? Oh yeah, some boys have gone missing. So I don't really like follow the news or anything, to be honest. But yeah, what, they died or something?
Yeah, they've been found dead. They were because they'd gone to Wales and the car must have gone off the road, but it ended up upside down, partially submerged in water. Well, it's not funny. All four boys were found dead in the car. So I don't know.
I'm back again.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I'm just, as I predicted, I forgot the question John was asking. So I'll have to ask.
My basic question is, have you considered the implications of having a central bank influence social politics and cultural norms?
I propose to ban usury with secular Quranism.
Yeah, but that's not just the only aspect of like the central bank, is it? Banning usury won't affect like the fact we have a fucking fiat currency or how we deal with inflation and depressions and stuff. Like, it's a bit more complicated.
Yes, I'm sure you don't want to lecture on economic theory in the time allocated to us, but I'm saying, everything will be solved using the principles of secular Quranism.
How will it? Like, okay, then. So I'll ask you a question.
What is the definition when you use that term in that sentence? What is the definition that you're using right now? When you just invoke that term, secular Quranism, what is the definition of that?
It means that it will be the principles of the Quran, as I interpret it.
Yeah, but societies that have used the Quran, right, in terms of their economy, you have to admit that their economies are dog shit.
Well, because they're not following it properly. And they'll be the first to admit that they haven't followed it properly. But the solution to not following something properly is to follow it properly next time.
Yeah, but they haven't. Right. So what solutions? So how is an Islamic society, in terms of its economy, preferable to our own if they follow the economy? Well, the principles of the Quran.
Okay, the boom bust cycle is caused by usury, because usury is fractional. Okay. I actually don't want to, you either accept that banning usury is good in principle or you don't. And you don't sound like an economist to me. So I suspect that whatever I say, you're just going to interrupt and disagree with. So let's not do this. And I'd rather answer John's question, which is, what does it mean to be a secular Quranist? And I'm saying it's just my interpretation of the commandments of Allah capable of being made into legislation. And obviously a lot of Muslims won't agree with me, but that's okay because they don't agree amongst themselves. There's 4 schools of Sharia and many branches of Islamic jurisprudence. And I'm saying my way is best. And Muslims don't like it because they can't prove that everything I say about Islam is wrong. But anyway, they're afraid to support it because they don't want to be accused of being radicals.
Have you actually went to an imam school in Saudi Arabia and actually studied, or do you have any credentials in that to make a legal interpretation of the Quran?
I spit on their credentials. Because thank you for mentioning Saudi, because Saudi is a country where lots of scholars get routinely thrown in jail for having the wrong interpretation of the Quran by their absolute monarch, MBS, who is known for having people sliced up and put into suitcases.
Okay. All right. Is there any other, have you actually gone to an imam and actually actually approved of your interpretations?
No,
Or
I don't
are you?
expect imams to approve of it. There is
Well,
one
even
that we both know. There is one that we both
no
know,
one
and he has
really
shit
accepts
for
your.
brains. He has shit for brains. You know William Brayanis. I can't remember what you disagreed with him about, but he was talking crap, and you pointed it out to him, and he said he wanted to punch you on the face. Yes, that was what happened.
Yeah,
But he's
that's
a
good for the
low
ego.
grade, low status piece of
I have a
shit.
question before.
Well, what
I
are
have a
you
question before
then?
we go.
You're not even a practicing lawyer.
If I were
You're not
practicing,
even a
if I were a
professor.
practicing lawyer,
You're
I
not
would
even
be
a
doing it.
practicing lawyer. You haven't even practiced law,
No,
and you're
if
going to
I
go
were,
around in your
yeah,
blog and saying that you can interpret the Quran with
yes. Well,
through a lawyer lens, but you haven't even practiced law. You haven't even sat in the courtroom. You haven't even defended or prosecuted anyone with your bar.
If I were a lawyer, I wouldn't be doing this, would I?
You have no credentials.
Well, I can win all the
Yeah, you do.
arguments. I can win all
Let
the
me ask you.
arguments.
You can't win arguments.
No,
Let me
you're
ask
just
you a
shouting
question.
over me.
Let me ask you a question. What's your favorite verse of the Quran?
There is no compulsion and belief. Truth. You see.
Okay.
You don't. You're not even interested in the answer.
Why are you
Really,
attacking?
but go on.
Why are people here just so shit for brains that they can't even control their
Shit for
mouths?
brains. You're a fucking Asian woman arguing for fucking white, fucking
Yeah,
secular Quranism or some
because
bullshit.
you're such fucking retards, you can't even
What
formulate
retard?
the arguments.
What do you
Yes,
do
you
with your
are.
life?
You're
You sit on the
mentally
internet
ill,
all
shit
fucking
for
day.
brains.
I'm
Yes.
mentally ill. You're the one who stood with a fucking gun
Well,
laughing with a
Vance is.
DMV.
Hey,
You fucking
look,
whopper.
if Claire wants to have a YouTube channel saying whatever she wants, she's entitled to do that.
Thank
You might not agree
Still
with
bollocks, though.
she's entitled to have a channel talking about secular Coranism if she wants to. Claire, can I ask you a question? I've never understood the difference between usury and Sharia finance, because Sharia finance does have a percentage, doesn't it? You pay a percentage or you get a percentage, but they don't call it
Well,
interest.
okay, I think I can. It's the difference between compound interest and simple interest. So how it could work is that you charge a flat rate for borrowing money. I mean, it's stupid to expect people to lend you money for free. So if I lend you £100, and the agreement is for every year that I don't pay you back the money, for every year that you don't pay me back the £100, you pay me a tenner. Right, and that is just a flat rate fee for the use of the £100 that I have lent you. It doesn't compound. It doesn't, the interest doesn't compound. So it becomes more manageable, right? And then, maybe one of these days you can give me the entire principal, and so you can pay it back and you can clear your debts. But if it compounds, you will never be able to pay it back. That is the difference.
So cool. And would you still have a central bank with Sharia finance?
This is a question I would suggest you ask somebody called Almir Colin. He's got a YouTube channel and he's the expert on Islamic finance. I don't pretend to know anything about the details of it, even though I did A-level economics. But then, the whole idea about forbidding usury is that you will get huge income inequality when you do that, and you get very, very rich people and people at the bottom that they don't care about, and you may know that Jews are not supposed to practice usury on each other, which suggests that it is a bad thing and causes social divisions.
You also have to. Oh, sorry. I was just going to add. You also have to, if you're like really rich, you have to donate. There's a certain income threshold called donating your zakat to the society. So there's a tax you have to pay if you're ultra wealthy. And so there's never really, in Islamic societies, there's never really any stable elite. There's always, it's very dynamic societies. It's very meritocratic or equal, I guess you could say, equal playing field when it comes to wealth distribution.
Well, actually, there's huge income inequality in amongst Muslims, and we know it. We know they don't practice it properly, and the only way of practicing it properly is for basically an economic block to do so, because you can't really ban usury while everybody else around you is practicing it. I mean, in the same way that if you wanted to give out
I
drink,
was
you
just
wouldn't go
historically
into a
speaking.
pub.
Yeah, historically speaking. But yes, since we live under a Federal Reserve U.S. backed currency, world currency, yes, countries have to play ball. So, but that is changing. That is changing.
What's changing?
We have a unipolar world into a multipolar world. So there is the BRICS arrangement where I believe it's Russia, India, Brazil,
China, South Africa.
China, South Africa want to trade using the ruble as the currency reserve as opposed to the U.S. Fiat-based currency or backed by oil petrodollar that the world's been trading off of, and consuming loads and loads of American debt in order to justify, in order to have a high credit rating in order so that they can keep printing money. But that is changing. Their credit rating has gone lower, so they can't print as much money anymore. So the U.S. dollar is collapsing slowly but surely. So you just have to replace it with something else. So that's what those countries are for. And I'm pretty sure that the West is going to go to a gold-backed standard. It's going to collapse. It's going to collapse. It's the dollar as you know it is going to be hyperinflation coming up next year, 2024. It's going to happen, and be prepared. Be prepared. Be prepared. There's going to be gas. It's going to be like over $2 a liter. Hyperinflation. It's going to be crazy. No. The internet's going to go down. Okay, internet's going to go down. Okay, this is
people saying
no.
This is the same.
No,
it's the same as people. You haven't even heard. This is the same.
What do you think the U.S. election?
The US is not going to fucking collapse. Just like it's like when people say that fucking China is going to collapse every fucking day. It's like the Chinese economy.
Yeah, your internet's going to go down. Your internet's going to go down. That's what the collapse is. Your internet's going to go down. The internet's going to go down. We won't be able to talk on the internet. It's just going to be gone. Just watch.
Yeah.
Just watch.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's all going to collapse. There's going to be no food. Oh my god, amazing.
So the American is arguing that America.
I don't say there's going to be no food, but it's going to the infrastructure is going to take a hit. There's a nuance to it.
Any further questions?
I got to take some breakfast. I think it's like really early in the morning here. I got to get some breakfast, but good talking to you, good old fellows from the Commonwealth. Seems like it's a bunch of Anglos up here today. So, okay, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye, John.
God. Phil?
Yeah?
Do you have an anger problem?
I have it. So, yeah, I do a little bit, but it's like these people say, "Oh, the economy's about to collapse." It's like, it's not. It's shit. Don't get me wrong, but it's not going to fucking collapse. It's not even that shit, really. But you have to give yourself a bit of perspective. It's like, is the British economy that bad? It's like, not fucking really. I'm wearing like fucking £400 boots. Like, it's fucking great. Like, what the fuck are people on about? It's like, the economy's fucked.
It's true.
How do you know that America's not going to collapse?
It's not going to collapse. This is like when people say, yeah, they're saying that China's going to, like, China's on the brink of destruction. Give them 2 weeks and it'll all be over. No, it won't.
One theory as well, right, is that America, you see, they have gate kept and they're very, very tightly gatekeeping artificial intelligence tech. They're miles ahead of China, and this is one theory. This is going to lead to a technological revolution, of course, and it's all going to be America's going to be leading the charge of it. It's all American companies that are developing AI at the moment, and this is going to lead to like the new revolution that will put the American economy front and center again, revive it like for like the next 50 years at least.
Maybe. It's just maybe, and it's like maybe. I'm not going to put pro either way. It's hard to predict the fucking future. But China ain't going anywhere. Russia ain't going anywhere. America ain't going anywhere. The economy's not going to fucking collapse. It's just cope. A lot of people are like, if the economy collapses, then we'll have white nationalism or secular fucking Quranism. It's like, we won't. It's not going to collapse. Society's pretty comfortable. It's going to remain comfortable. We got no reason to believe it's not going to be comfortable. They've dealt with various depressions and fucking bullshit like that, and we've been already.
What's your job, Phil? If you don't mind telling
My
us.
job?
Yeah, I mean, you can afford £400 boots.
Yeah, well, I'm a scissor whip operator, forklift operator, hygiene and health and safety in a slaughterhouse.
So what kind of boots do you have again? What brand?
Vans. The Vans, these are.
Can we have a picture of your boots?
No, I'm just about to go work.
Okay.
Well, literally,
maybe next time. I'm just curious about,
Yeah, my point is this: so if you're working class, provided you've got a job, your life should be okay. You're not fucking struggling. No one's fucking struggling. I don't give a fuck. If you're struggling in this economy, you're a fucking idiot. That's just what it is. Simple as that. I know.
It is true that my grandparents, for instance, explained to me just how poor the average person used to be, that they used to have to steal like a turnip out of the farmer's field and go and steal coal and things like this, and just how poor
we've never had it so
the
good.
average person was.
But spiritually,
in any fucking way.
Well, it's the poverty of ambition and the spiritual poverty, the lack of hope.
That's only for people who are fucking. Yeah, I've got children. This is only for people who are fucking black-pilled all the time, who spend all the time on the internet. Normies are more spiritually fucking adept. Normies don't worry about this fucking shit and just get on with their fucking life. You know what I mean?
Well, they don't think about it. You've got
other people
to think about. Well, why not? Well, you just assume that everything.
I'll tell you why. Right. So Socrates said the unexamined life is not worth living. But I'll tell you what, the over-examined life is not worth living either. You know, do you want to live the life of a philosopher? Fucking autistic fucking incel with no children. Fucking incel. Right, I've got to go now.
Well, as long as you feel everything's fine, and you don't mind voting for Brexit and not getting it, well, that's all right. So, is there a problem or isn't there? There seems to be a kind of seesawing and yo-yoing about whether there is a problem or not.
But I don't understand why he spends his time on the internet if he thinks that it's better off just being a normie, living a normie life. He doesn't.
Phil isn't a normie. He's not a normie. What he is a disillusioned Wignat, basically. He has joined the internet, thought that we were going to change the world, and then realised it's just a bunch of people on the internet who aren't ever going to change anything, and is like totally disillusioned with it, and realises